If you are feeling lazy right now, stop. Do not scroll past this, because what you think is just a moment of weakness is actually a crossroads. The choice you make this second will define your tomorrow, your future, your legacy. Ask yourself, are you truly lazy? Or are you just afraid of the greatness inside you? By the end of this, your mindset will never be the same. You will see laziness not as a curse, but as a signal to rise, to act, to conquer. Laziness is often condemned as a fatal flaw, a weakness to be crushed and discarded. But what if we have misunderstood it all along? What if laziness is not the enemy, but a messenger, a silent, subtle signal from your deepest self, alerting you to something amiss? When you feel that heavy, sluggish resistance to action, it is not simply a call to rest or indulgence. It is a warning light flashing, urging you to examine what lies beneath. Think of laziness as the body's and mind's way of communicating discomfort, misalignment, or fear. Fear of rejection or fears. This subtle mastery is the foundation upon which lasting success is built. So the next time laziness knocks, do not recoil or condemn. Instead, pause. Listen carefully. It is your inner compass, pointing the way toward growth, truth, and transformation. Your path is not blocked. It is being illuminated. Embrace the message and take your next step with courage. The mind is a remarkable organ, designed by nature with one simple, unwavering directive: seek comfort, avoid pain. It is the very essence of survival. But here lies the paradox. What keeps us comfortable often cages us, and what challenges us propels us forward. The mind will always choose comfort over growth, until you teach it differently. This is a lesson that Napoleon Hill and all great thinkers understood deeply. The battle for success is not outside. It is within your mind's programming. Imagine your brain as a loyal servant, performing exactly what it is trained to do. When you wake up and choose to remain in your bed, to scroll endlessly, or to postpone the difficult conversation or task, your mind is simply obeying its most fundamental rule: protect you from discomfort. It is not laziness or weakness. It is instinct. The same brain that once saved your ancestors from wild beasts now quietly sabotages your dreams because it cannot yet distinguish between physical danger and the discomfort of growth. Take the story of Thomas Edison, a man who failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb. His mind encountered discomfort repeatedly: failure, rejection, exhaustion. Yet Edison trained his mind to see discomfort as the path to enlightenment. He did not seek comfort, he sought progress. He conditioned his brain to associate effort and struggle, not with pain, but with the promise of success. This is the mastery every person must achieve. Psychologically, comfort is the brain's default setting. It is easier to stay in routines, habits, and familiar patterns because they require less cognitive energy. Growth demands the brain to forge new neural pathways, which is exhausting. The discomfort you feel when learning a new skill, facing a challenge, or changing a mindset is the brain's resistance to rewiring itself. This is why so many quit at the brink of breakthrough. They mistake discomfort for failure or pain. Yet the greatest transformation occurs when you deliberately train your mind to embrace discomfort. Like a muscle, the mind grows stronger when pushed against resistance. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you reprogram your brain's reward system. You replace the craving for ease with the hunger for achievement. This is not effortless. It is discipline. But it is the discipline that Napoleon Hill believed separates the successful from the mediocre. Consider the athletes who wake up at dawn to train while the world sleeps, or the entrepreneurs who face rejection day after day, yet persist. Their minds have been trained. They have taught themselves to crave challenge. They have rewired their brains to understand that the pain of effort is temporary, but the rewards are eternal. The question then becomes, how do you train your mind to choose growth over comfort? The answer lies in repetition and awareness. Each time you feel the urge to avoid discomfort, pause and remind yourself that discomfort is a signpost on the road to greatness. Celebrate small victories where you choose growth, no matter how painful or difficult. Over time, your brain will crave these moments, as much as it once craved comfort. This mental reconditioning is not magic. It is deliberate, persistent, and intentional. It requires you to become the master of your thoughts and actions. The moment you realize your mind will always seek comfort, you can begin to lead it instead of follow it blindly. Remember, your mind is not your enemy. It is a powerful tool, waiting to be trained. When you teach it that growth is more rewarding than ease, you unlock your true potential. Until then, comfort will always win. The choice is yours. Mountains do not bow down to the rushed or the impatient. They yield only to those who persist with steady feet, unwavering resolve, and the wisdom to understand that great victories are the sum of small, deliberate steps. This truth is eternal and unchanging. Small steps crush giant mountains. It is a lesson whispered through the ages, echoed in the lives of every monumental achiever who ever lived. Napoleon Hill recognized this principle, not as a quaint saying, but as a profound law of success and progress. Consider the tale of the Wright brothers, two bicycle mechanics with no formal education in aerodynamics, who dared to dream of human flight. They did not ascend overnight. Their achievement was built upon countless tiny experiments, some successful, many day after day. They tested wing shapes, adjusted angles, measured winds, and fell flat on their faces. Each minor adjustment, each small success and failure, was a step up a mountain that seemed impossible to climb. Their breakthrough was not a miracle. It was the relentless accumulation of small, intentional actions. Psychologically, the human mind is wired to seek quick results. Instant gratification has become the bane of our era, tempting us to believe that success must be swift, or it is not worth pursuing. But true progress defies this illusion. The mountain does not move for the impatient traveler. Instead, it waits, demanding humility and patience. When you embrace the power of small steps, you align yourself with the very rhythm of nature and the universe. Every small step rewires your brain, building confidence, competence, and momentum. This momentum is the invisible force that propels you forward, even when the mountain seems too steep, the air too thin, and the journey endless. Remember the story of Nelson Mandela, who spent 27 years in prison. His freedom did not come from one grand act, but from countless small acts of resistance, reflection, and resilience. Each day behind bars was a small step toward the mountain of justice he would eventually climb. Moreover, small steps dissolve the overwhelming nature of massive goals. When faced with a daunting task, your mind seeks to retreat, overwhelmed by the scale of the challenge. But by breaking down your mountain into manageable stones, one step, one action at a time, you disarm the mind's resistance. You invite it to participate rather than protest. This approach cultivates discipline and focus. Instead of scattering your energy chasing every shiny opportunity or succumbing to paralysis by analysis, you commit to progress, no matter how slow. This commitment is the secret weapon of the world's most successful people. They understand that a single step, taken consistently over time, builds an unbreakable chain of achievement. Action is the antidote to doubt, and small actions create a tsunami of transformation. Each time you choose one more step, whether it is learning, practicing, or simply showing up, you reinforce your identity as someone who conquers mountains. Your mountain is no longer a distant dream, but a series of achievable tasks, each bringing you closer to the summit. So when the weight of your ambitions threatens to crush you, remember, great mountains crumble beneath the persistent tread of small steps. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, but it is the 1,000th step that completes it. Keep stepping, keep climbing. Your mountain awaits, and small steps will bring you there. Your environment is not merely the backdrop of your life, it is the furnace that either fuels or fights your fire. Napoleon Hill, in his timeless wisdom, taught that the company you keep and the surroundings you inhabit shape not just your actions, but your very thoughts, beliefs, and destiny. This lesson is profound, yet often overlooked. The truth is simple. Your environment will either lift you higher or drag you down. It is the invisible hand that guides your success, or anchors your failure. Consider the story of Michael Jordan, widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time. Jordan's talent was undeniable, but what truly set him apart was his relentless drive to surround himself with excellence. His teammates pushed him to be better. His coaches demanded discipline. The culture of the Chicago Bulls was one of fierce competition and unyielding standards. This environment forged a champion. Contrast this with someone of equal talent trapped in a toxic environment, one where negativity, complacency, and distraction dominate. And you see how potential withers. Psychologically, humans are profoundly influenced by their social and physical environments. The brain is a social organ wired to mirror the behaviors and attitudes of those around. If your closest companions are dreamers, innovators, and doers, your mind naturally adapts, raising your standards and fueling ambition. If they are doubters, procrastinators, or naysayers, your energy dissipates, your dreams dim. This is not a theory but a fact observed repeatedly in studies of social contagion and behavior. But environment is not limited to people alone. The physical spaces we occupy, the rooms we live in, the clutter on our desks, the digital content we consume, create either a sanctuary for growth or a breeding ground for distraction. The great philosopher and psychologist William James once said, "The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another." Your environment shapes the battlefield of those thoughts. One cannot underestimate the power of this truth. The mind is plastic, but it is molded by the stimuli it receives. Picture a young woman named Sarah, who dreamed of becoming an author, living in a noisy, chaotic home, filled with distractions and negativity. Her creative fire flickered weakly. When she moved to a quiet, supportive environment, joined a writing group, created a dedicated workspace, her productivity soared. Her environment had shifted from a battlefield to a forge, fueling her passion. This principle extends beyond individuals. Entire communities and nations have risen or fallen based on the environments they cultivate. Great societies invest in education, culture, and positive social networks because they know these are the foundations of collective progress. The choice is yours to consciously curate an environment that ignites your fire or to passively endure one that smothers it. This requires courage and intentionality. It means sometimes making hard decisions, leaving behind toxic relationships, decluttering mental and physical spaces, and seeking out mentors and allies who elevate you. Napoleon Hill's wisdom is clear. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But I say, you are also the product of every place and every influence you allow near your soul. Ask yourself, does your environment celebrate your dreams or diminish them? Does it challenge you to grow or lull you into comfort? Your answer reveals why you are where you are and where you will go next. Choose wisely. Build a sanctuary of fire and ambition around you. Your environment will either be your greatest ally or your fiercest enemy. The flames you feed today will light the path to your destiny tomorrow. The morning is the gateway to your entire day, a powerful moment often overlooked by those who drift through life without purpose. Napoleon Hill understood this truth deeply. Mastery begins with mastery of the first moments after waking. To master your mind, you must first master your morning. It is in these early hours that the tone is set, the mindset is forged, and the direction of your life is quietly decided. Consider the stories of history's greatest leaders. Winston Churchill, known for his indomitable spirit during the darkest days of World War II, began his mornings with deliberate rituals, meditation, planning, and reflection that sharpened his resolve before the chaos of battle. Theodore Roosevelt rose early to engage in rigorous physical activity, fueling his boundless energy and mental clarity. Their mornings were not casual, they were sacred. These moments were the foundation of their strength, the secret weapon that carried them through trials that would break lesser men. Psychologically, the first hour after waking is a critical window when your brain transitions from the passive state of sleep to active alertness. During this time, your mind is highly impressionable, forming patterns that influence your thoughts and actions throughout the day. If you allow this time to be hijacked by distraction, anxiety, or indecision, you set a course for chaos. But if you claim these moments with intention, your mind becomes a powerful ally, focused and energized. Imagine a young entrepreneur named Emily. For years, she struggled with scattered thoughts and procrastination. Her mornings were rushed and reactive, emails, social media, noise. One day, she committed to a simple ritual, 5 minutes of deep breathing, a brief journal entry of her goals, and a stretch to awaken her body. Within weeks, Emily's clarity improved dramatically. She was no longer a passenger in her day. She was the captain. This transformation was not magic, but the product of mastering her morning. This practice aligns with the neuroscience of habit formation. By consistently engaging in positive morning rituals, you create neural pathways that reinforce discipline, focus, and resilience. Your brain learns that success begins here, in these quiet moments before the world demands your attention. Furthermore, mastering your morning cultivates emotional intelligence. When you start your day grounded, mindful of your purpose, and calm in your approach, you become less reactive to external pressures. Challenges become opportunities rather than threats. This shift in perspective is the hallmark of mastery. Napoleon Hill's philosophy teaches us that every achievement starts with a clear vision and a determined mind. Your morning routine is the canvas on which you paint that vision. It is not about perfection, but consistency. Not about complexity, but intentionality. A simple act, waking up a few minutes earlier, setting an intention, or practicing gratitude, can cascade into profound change. In a world designed to distract and drain, mastering your morning is an act of rebellion, a declaration that you control your destiny. It is the foundation of mental strength, the first victory of the day. So rise with purpose. Own your morning. Command your mind before the noise begins, because how you start determines how you finish, and the master of mornings becomes the master of life. Urgency is the flame that transforms dreams into reality, the invisible force that separates those who wait endlessly from those who act decisively. Napoleon Hill understood this truth better than most. Without urgency, ambition falters and goals slip away like sand through fingers. To embrace the power of urgency is to ignite your soul with the relentless drive of now, banishing procrastination and hesitation from your path. It is not impatience, it is purposeful acceleration. Consider the story of Harriet Tubman, who escaped slavery and then risked everything to lead others to freedom. She did not wait for the right time or for perfect conditions. Every moment was urgent. Every step she took was fueled by the knowledge that delay could cost lives. This urgency did not breed recklessness, but laser-sharp focus, a burning commitment to act immediately and decisively. Her legacy is a testament to the power of urgent action. Psychologically, urgency triggers a survival mechanism in the brain, heightening focus and mobilizing resources. When you embrace urgency, you activate the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for decision-making and willpower, sharpening your ability to prioritize and execute. This mental state combats the paralysis of overthinking and the comfort of delay. Without urgency, the mind tends toward complacency, lulled by the illusion of endless time. Take the example of a young entrepreneur, Alex, who dreamed of launching a revolutionary app. For months he hesitated, perfecting details, waiting for a flawless moment. Then a rival released a similar product. The sting of lost opportunity lit a fire within Alex. Suddenly, urgency transformed him. He streamlined his efforts, cut through distractions, and launched with speed. His urgent mindset became his competitive edge. Yet urgency is not merely about speed, it is about intensity and clarity of purpose. It demands you to ask, what am I waiting for? Why delay the life I want? Every second wasted is an opportunity stolen. The world rewards those who recognize that the clock is ticking and that the present moment is the most powerful tool in their arsenal. Napoleon Hill's teachings emphasize that action taken with urgency is exponentially more effective than delayed perfection. Urgency breeds momentum, and momentum creates unstoppable progress. The most successful individuals do not wait for motivation to find them. They create urgency within themselves, compelling action through self-discipline and vision. Moreover, urgency cultivates resilience. When you act with the speed of necessity, you learn to adapt quickly, to pivot when obstacles arise, and to overcome fear and weakness, or one of strength, courage, and possibility. The words you speak, the thoughts you nurture, and the beliefs you hold daily shape your identity, and in turn, your actions. Willpower can inspire momentary bursts of effort, but it is fleeting and exhaustible. Identity, however, is enduring. It is the lens through which you view the world and yourself. When your identity is aligned with your vision, every step toward success feels natural, inevitable, and even effortless. Remember this, you do not merely act like a successful person, you are a successful person. The moment you claim this truth, your actions will follow without resistance. Your identity drives your actions more than any measure of willpower. Change your identity, and you change your life. Stand firm in who you are becoming, and watch your willpower transform from a fleeting battle into a steady current guiding you to your highest potential. The moment you stop chasing comfort is the moment you begin commanding your life. This statement cuts to the core of human progress, a truth that Napoleon Hill illuminated with timeless clarity. Comfort is a siren's call, seductive, familiar, and dangerously deceptive. It lulls us into complacency, masking as safety while quietly stealing our potential. To command your life, you must break free from this illusion and embrace discomfort as the path to true power. Consider the story of Frederick Douglass, who escaped the bonds of slavery but did not rest in his freedom. Instead, he stepped into the discomfort of activism, public speaking, and relentless advocacy. Douglass knew that to command his destiny, he had to endure hardship, face opposition, and reject the temptation of comfort. His willingness to embrace discomfort not only transformed his life, but altered the course of history. Psychologically, humans are wired to avoid pain and seek pleasure. This primitive instinct ensured survival for millennia. But in the modern world, this instinct often conflicts with growth. Comfort becomes a prison disguised as paradise. The mind equates comfort with success, yet true success demands sacrifice, struggle, and discomfort. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is always bridged by discomfort. Take the example of a young woman named Lisa, stuck in a secure but unfulfilling job. Every day she craved change but feared the uncertainty beyond comfort's borders. One day, she decided to pursue her passion for entrepreneurship, embracing the discomfort of risk, long hours, and failure. This choice was not easy. She faced doubt and setbacks, but by relinquishing comfort, she gained control. Today, Lisa commands her life not as a passive observer, but as an active creator. This principle is echoed in the lives of great athletes, leaders, and innovators. They do not chase comfort, they chase excellence. The early mornings, the grueling workouts, the sleepless nights, they are all discomfort embraced and mastered. Each act of discomfort is a declaration of command over life, a refusal to be led by ease and habit. Napoleon Hill taught that desire backed by faith and persistence is unstoppable. But desire without the courage to face discomfort is merely a wish. To command your life, you must develop a mindset that welcomes discomfort as a teacher, a sculptor shaping your character and resilience. Moreover, embracing discomfort rewires your brain. Each time you step beyond your comfort zone, you build neurological pathways that expand your capacity for challenge and change. This growth breeds confidence, autonomy, and true power. Ask yourself, what comfort am I clinging to that limits my growth? What discomfort must I face today to step into command of my destiny? The answers will guide your transformation. The moment you stop chasing comfort is not the moment life becomes easy. It is the moment you take the reins, steer through storms, and claim ownership of your journey. Comfort will always beckon, but the command of life belongs to those who choose courage over ease. Remember, greatness is not born in the cradle of comfort, but forged in the fires of discomfort. To command your life, embrace the challenge. Step boldly beyond the familiar and claim the power waiting on the other side.